and welcome to the Personalities of the Tarot podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Seer, and this is Season 2, Episode 11, for November 22nd, 2023, and the sign of Sagittarius. In the last episode, I discussed the King of Wands, who covers the last 10 degrees of Scorpio and the first 20 degrees of Sagittarius. So go back and give Episode 10 a listen if you're interested. In today's episode, I'll be talking about Temperance and Sagittarius, along with the first 10 degrees of the sign with the 8 of Wands. There's also a full moon coming up on November 26th, 27th, and of course, I've got a tarot tip and your list of famous and infamous birthdays. So do that thing you do, get comfy and chill, walk, drive your car, or whatever it is you do while listening, and let's see what Sagittarius has in store for us. Hey, just a reminder, I'm a highly rated tarot and psychic reader. I have 5 stars on Google, Fiverr, Groupon, Fresha, and I think even Yelp. I'm pretty sure on Yelp as well. If you've been interested in getting a reading, but maybe didn't know how to go about finding a psychic for you, check out my site at elizabethseer.com. I have posts about my work and personal experiences, and I even have something about psychic scammers who unfortunately give us all a bad name. I have video meditations and links to a few products that I created to help out if you're also spiritually curious like me. Keep in mind you can only book a reading with me through my team at chickswithspiritualgifts.com or my personal site, elizabethseer.com. It's always made sense to me that Temperance covers the sign of Sagittarius, which coincides with Thanksgiving in the U.S., where we imbibe in a celebration of food and family connection. The sign runs from November 22nd through December 21st or so. This is prime late fall, early winter holiday time, and we need to keep things in balance, showing some discipline and control between Scorpio, death and transition, and the upcoming Capricorn, which is the devil and materialism, and that comes at Christmas and the New Year. Temperance is alchemy, consolidation, and synthesis, but in moderation, avoiding excess. It's an opportunity to find your balance and equilibrium, getting centered while discovering ways to cooperate and combine with others. I love that this card is often called art in several modern tarot decks because it's all about the combination and finding the right mix. Walk into an artist's studio and you don't see art in the paints, brushes, easel, canvas, etc. It takes the artist, in this case, you, to bring all elements into play, creating something beautiful. However, too much or too little of one thing, and the entire project is ruined. Sagittarius is ruled by this symbol in the tarot. Therefore, when they're manifesting their lighter, brighter side, Sagittarians are quite cooperative, working in harmony with others, thanks to their fire sign ability to adapt to changing circumstances. They also like a challenge. And of course, when you're ruled by a symbol with references to art, you can imagine that many Sagittarians are artists and or passionate in their creative endeavors. However, if they manifest that shadow side, and as you know, I always say we all have one, Sagittarius can be anxious, likely because they're lacking vision or purpose in their life. This presents as an imbalance within relationships, including the relationship with the self. It could make them overly competitive and impatient. Some famous Sagittarians include Winston Churchill, Ludwig van Beethoven, Jim Morrison, Miley Cyrus and Taylor Swift, Bruce Lee, Billy the Kid, and the late great Sinead O'Connor. For everyone of all signs during the time of Temperance and Sagittarius, November 22nd through December 21st, you're encouraged to try new things now while also maintaining your present security. Don't lose the essence of the thing when trying to find just the right combination. It's a time for gentle blending, not manic mixing, while you refine your masterpiece, developing a higher awareness. Temperance is the alchemy of your life. The next full moon will peak in the early morning hours of November 27th. The November full moon is known as the Beaver Moon. According to the Old Farmer's Almanac, the November full moon is called the Beaver Moon because it's the time of year when beavers begin to take shelter in their lodges, having laid up sufficient food stores for the long winter ahead. During the fur trade in North America, it was also the season to trap beavers for their thick, winter-ready pelts. And although the sun is in Sagittarius at this time, this full moon will be in the sign of Gemini, so there may be a sense of curiosity and spontaneity in the air. Because the moon rules our emotions, and Gemini, being an air sign, works with the mind, beware of emotions running high, overthinking your feelings, or not sitting back and listening and observing enough. Just chill, because, being a full moon, it's time to release again. Think about those things in your life which have come to culmination, or lessons you may have learned about your relationships, situations, and things you've learned about yourself. Are you spiritually curious? I've created some divination tools which might help you on your spiritual divination journey. In 2022, I designed and released the Lenormand Seer Oracle. It's available as a casting set or in card format. I use both formats regularly in my work, and I love the everyday specificity of that divination tool. I also designed Seer's Casting Tarot this year, and I am loving working with the 78 symbols on discs, and I can't say enough about how thrilled I am with the casting board. This is a new way to enjoy an old divination tool. I have a cool customized version of the set, which also includes a bag and a casting cloth sewn for you by yours truly. Or you can buy the original set and board directly from the print-on-demand manufacturer. The links to purchase these and more products are at my website, elizabethseer.com. The Eight of Wands rules the first decan, or first 10 degrees of Sagittarius, from November 22nd through December 1st. Always give or take a day or so on either side with astrological dates. Those born during this time may have an active, busy life. They may experience quite a bit of movement in their lives, whether moving home, jobs, positions, relationships, or travel. Once these Saggies become interested in something or someone, they want to learn everything there is to know. And they want to know it yesterday. The shadow side of this personality would be hastiness, a habit of taking action without thinking things through and running roughshod over others. It's okay to slow down, take a breath, smell the roses, and read the fine print before signing on the dotted line. For everyone of all signs during this time at the beginning of Sagittarius, you may feel a swiftness of energy and things picking up speed in your life. Pay attention as information may be coming at you quickly. Take advantage of this energy and strike while the iron is hot. Now, you may feel caught in a whirlwind now, but know that the dust will settle and everything will end up where it should. Be alert, because delays in any affairs could finally be removed during this time. Energy and ideas are moving fast, so carpe diem. This week's tarot tip isn't so much about tarot, maybe more a little on the intuitive or psychic side. It's really more about creating a strong connection with your own spiritual connections or guides to ensure your divination tools are indeed ringing with truth when you use them. If you haven't already done so, I suggest getting in touch with your own personal guide or guides. If you're interested, I have a guided meditation to do just that. You can find it on my YouTube channel or my website, elizabethseer.com. Even if you don't use my guided meditation, I suggest finding something like it to help you connect. Back around 1999 or so, I went through a guided meditation with a popular psychic medium. They took us through a 20 to 30-minute guided meditation, and I met my guide. When I asked her name, I got Shauna. Honestly, I didn't think much of the name, thought it was even kind of lame for the interracial beauty that was my guide and how she presented herself. She didn't look like a Shauna, let's just put it that way. The meditation teacher told us we'd get confirmation within about 24 hours that our connection was true and real. I went to bed, and 7 hours later, I woke to check my work email. Now, at the time, I worked for an internet company, and it was all about, dial-up, and we were on the precipice of DSL. And they had a very, very robust firewall. We never got any spam. But that morning, about 7 or 8 hours after my meditation to meet my spirit guide, I had one piece of email waiting for me. It was spam from shauna@yahoo.com. It's famous birthday time! Here's a random list of famous or infamous early Sagittarius characters and celebrities born November 22nd through December 1st who embody and or work with 8 of Wands energy. As always, this list doesn't mean I agree or disagree with a person's words or life choices. It's simply to educate on the early Sagittarius personality, giving you the opportunity to compare public personas with their tarot and astrological correlations, for bad or good. Oscar winner Jamie Lee Curtis, Mark Ruffalo, Hailey Bieber, Charles de Gaulle, Nicole Polizzi, also known as Snooki from the Jersey Shore, Maxwell Caulfield, and you may know him as Rex Manning from that 90 movies hit Empire Records, or maybe as Michael Carrington, the male lead in Grease 2, Boris Karloff, Harpo Marx, Colin Hanks, Charles Luciano, also known as Lucky Luciano, Peter Fasinelli, DJ Khaled, Tina Turner, Bill Nye, the science guy, Jimi Hendrix, one of my all-time faves, former Daily Show host and all-around decent human being, Jon Stewart, Anna Nicole Smith, Don Cheadle, Anna Faris, author C.S. Lewis, Christian Doppler, the physicist who gave us the Doppler effect, Ben Stiller, Billy Idol, Chrissy Teigen, Mark Twain, Bette Midler, Sarah Silverman, Janelle Monáe, Zoe Kravitz, John Densmore from The Doors, and I did already mention his bandmate and lead singer Jim Morrison earlier when discussing Sagittarians, and finally, Richard Pryor. Remember, the full moon is coming on November 27th, and release those things that you've graduated from. You know what happens after you graduate. You have the time and space to seek out new opportunities and new ways of being. On the next episode, around December 2nd, I'll be discussing mid-Sagittarius and the 9 of Wands. I'll let you know now. Don't get too defensive during the middle of Sagittarius. Although you may have the stamina, you might need to rest and let your guard down for a bit. I'm also going to be discussing the upcoming Mercury retrograde, which begins December 13th through January 1st. Don't forget the shadow side on either end with about plus 5 days or so. This means we'll likely start feeling the effects of Mercury retrograde around December 6th or 7th. To avoid hassles and irritations, try to get your holiday shopping and shipping done by then, if at all possible. I always gotta show love for my chicks with spiritual gifts. So if you're interested in different intuitive readers or new and creative intuitive readings, like Sheila's encaustic wax art readings or Kimmy's AI art readings, make sure to check out my team at chickswithspiritualgifts.com and book a reading with Kimmy, Lindsay, Sheila, or me. Remember, as we begin the time of temperance, you are the artist of your life, so don't make a mess by doing too much or too little. Keep things in balance and hold on to your present security while dipping your toe into new opportunities. You've been listening to Elizabeth Seer, and I'm grateful for this time with you.